everybody. Welcome to the first of our spring storytime session. Today, we've got a very special National Library Week edition, where we're going to celebrate libraries and all of the fun things that they offer. Before we get started, we're going to start with our welcome song. Did you bring your peekaboo hands with you? Mine are right here. On the count of 3, we'll sing. 1, 2, 3. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. I see you, I see your button nose, I see your tiny toes. Peekaboo, I see you. That was great. Did everyone get a chance to learn the words? On the count of 3, we'll sing it again just to make sure. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you, I see you. I see your button nose, I see your tiny toes. Peekaboo, I see you. Thank you for singing with me. We'll start all of our storytime sessions with that song, so you'll definitely get a chance to learn the words before the end of our sessions. All right, let's talk a second about National Library Week. As I said, it's a week to celebrate libraries. And so this week at Leonia Public Library, we have a lot of fun things going on, including a library card sign-up drive, which you can get if you're at least 5 years old, and special crafts that you can take home and make. Today, with our stories and our songs and our rhymes, we're going to go back to the basics and sing some classics. But first, I would like to start with a book about a little girl who is not too certain about her library. This story is called Beatrice Doesn't Want To, and it's by Laura Numeroff. Here we go. There's Beatrice and her brother. Beatrice didn't like books. She didn't even like to read. More than that, she hated going to the library. But that's where her brother, Henry, had to take her 3 afternoons in a row. Henry had to look after Beatrice. He also had to write a report on dinosaurs. Why don't you get some books from the shelf? Henry suggested when they got to the library. I don't want to, Beatrice said. Look at how many books there are, Henry said. I don't want to, Beatrice repeated. Then what do you want to do? Henry asked her. I want to watch you, said Beatrice. But I have to work, said Henry. I'll watch, said Beatrice. I give up, said Henry. He worked on his report. Beatrice watched. Henry tried not to notice her. The second day, Beatrice didn't want to go back to the library. You have to, said Henry. I don't want to, Beatrice told him. But I have to work, Henry said. When they got there, Beatrice saw a big, comfy chair. I'll just sit here, she decided. Okay, said Henry. But don't move until I'm finished. Henry began to work on his report. All of a sudden, he felt someone tapping his shoulder. He turned around, and there was Beatrice. I'm bored, she said. I give up, said Henry. On the third day, Beatrice followed Henry around while he looked for more books. Can I hold some? Beatrice asked. Henry gave her some books to hold. They're too heavy, Beatrice wailed. I really do give up, said Henry. You're driving me crazy. Please, Bea, Henry begged. I've got to get this report done. It's due tomorrow. How about a drink of water first, said Beatrice. They went down the hall to look for some water. Suddenly, Henry saw a poster. This is it, he thought. And the poster says, the librarian will read Albert Mouse Has a Brand New House today at 4 p.m. in the children's room. Come on, said Henry. I don't want to, answered Beatrice. Too bad, shouted Henry. Before Beatrice knew it, she was in a room full of other children. Henry walked out just as she started to say, I don't want... Beatrice sat down to wait for Henry. Hello, my name is Wanda, said the girl in the next chair. This is the second time I've heard this story. Big deal, said Beatrice. Albert Mouse lived in a brand new house, the librarian began to read. She held up the book so everyone could see the pictures. Beatrice glared out the window. Albert Mouse also had new roller skates, the librarian continued. Beatrice loved to roller skate. She looked at the librarian. But Albert's mother wasn't too thrilled when he skated through the house, the librarian read. The boys and girls laughed. Beatrice smiled. She remembered the time she'd tried roller skating in her own house. Then Beatrice laughed. She listened to the whole story. When the story was over, Beatrice went up to the librarian. May I see that book, please? She asked. Of course, said the librarian. Beatrice sat down and looked at each picture over and over. Suddenly, she felt someone tapping her shoulder. Time to go, Henry whispered. Beatrice kept looking at the pictures. Henry stuck Beatrice's hat on her head. We have to go home now, he said. Beatrice ignored him. Come on, Bee, Henry said. I don't want to, Beatrice said. The end. There you go. So there's a little girl who didn't realize all of the things she could do at her library. What I would like to do now is sing a song with you. We're going to go way back to a classic and sing the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Can you show me what your spider looks like? I like to take these 4 fingers and put one pointer finger on one thumb, and I match the other pointer to the other thumb, and then I swap them up, 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 up. All right? So that's how our spider's going to walk. And let's see. The sun is going to come out. It's going to dry up all the rain. And then we're going to do our spider walk again. Are you ready? On the count of 3, we'll sing. 1, 2, 3. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Would you like to sing it one more time so you can practice your spiders? All right, on the count of 3, we'll try it. 1, 2, 3. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Thank you again for singing with me. Now we're ready for our next story. This is a story about Lola, and she already knows she likes her library. This story is called Lola at the Library, and it's by Anna McQuinn. Here she goes with her books. Lola loves Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, Lola and her mommy go to the library. The library opens at 9 o'clock, but Lola is ready to go long before that. She puts all the books she borrowed last week in her backpack. Her library card is also very important. The library is not very far away, so Lola and her mommy always walk there. Lola and her mommy give back the books from last week. The librarian buzzes them through the machine. Here, our machines beep. There's a special section in the library just for children. It's really cool. Nobody ever says, shh. Sometimes there's singing. Lola knows all the words and the hands for Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Sometimes there's story time. Lola loves that. I hope you do too. After story time, Lola chooses her books. In the library, she can have any book she wants. Lola likes stories with bears and anything with shoes. There are so many, it takes ages to choose. Mommy has some books too. The librarian buzzes them through the machine, then stamps the date inside. Lola must bring them back in 2 weeks, but she will probably be back for more long before then. Lola and her mommy always get a snack after visiting the library. Mommy has a cappuccino and Lola has juice. Whenever Lola has been good, her mommy lets her taste the foam. Then it's time to go home again. Every night after Lola is tucked in bed, her mommy reads her a story. It's the best way to end the day. And there you have it. That's the best way to end our book. All right, let's try singing one more song and then we'll move on to our craft. We're going to stay in keeping with our classic rhymes and songs and do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I'm certainly hopeful that you brought all of those pieces with you today. You've got your head, your shoulders, your knees, and your toes. We also need our eyes, our ears, our mouth, and our nose. On the count of 3, we'll sing. 1, 2, 3. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. You know this one. Let's sing it together nice and loudly. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. All right. Thank you again so much for singing with me. We have one more song, and that's our goodbye song, which we'll sing before we do our craft. Are you ready? On the count of 3, it goes like this. I'll sing it once, and then we can sing it all together. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a wave and wink your eye. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, friends. You ready to sing with me nice and loudly? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a wave and wink your eye. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, friends. That concludes the story portion of our story time. Stick around and you can see a simple craft that you can do at home. Be right back. Welcome back. Our craft today is based on another great classic nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty. The rhyme goes like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Then all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Now, nowhere in the rhyme does it say that Humpty is an egg, but usually when you see it drawn in books, that's what he looks like. So today what you need for your craft is a piece of paper of any color, a white piece of paper that you can cut an egg shape out of, some Band-Aids, because we're going to put Humpty back together, scissors, glue, and some crayons or markers. All right? So the first thing that you're going to do is take out your white piece of paper and cut out an egg shape. It can be any size you want, as long as it's sort of narrower at the top and a little wider at the bottom. It will look like an egg. Then what we're going to do is draw a little face on Humpty. So I'm going to give him a nose and a big smile and some eyes. He doesn't have to look like much, because remember, he's just an egg after all. So here we go. Here's my Humpty. This is before he's taken his fall. What I'm going to do now is take my scissors, and we're going to cut some cracks into Humpty here. You can do this however you like. I'm going to make let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cuts, I think. So now I have 3 pieces of Humpty Dumpty. You see him? And on my paper, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on one piece and glue it down. And we're going to put Humpty back together sort of like a puzzle. And so mom, dads, and caregivers, you can cut Humpty up and then you can give the pieces to your little one to reassemble. All right? So I'm going to stick Humpty Dumpty's head right on the top like this. Do you see his eyes? And then I'm going to take his middle piece here. This has got his nose and his mouth. And we're going to glue that down. Uh-oh. There we go. We don't want Humpty to look all crinkly. I'll line that up here a little bit. So you can tell that he's cracked, but he's looking pretty healthy, right? See a little bit of a crack there? And last but not least, we've got this piece with the rest of his mouth. We're going to glue that in. All right, line that up. And so he's looking pretty good, but we can help him to heal by using our Band-Aids. So I'm going to take my first bandage and stick it across this crack here. And I'm going to take my second bandage and stick it across this crack here. Basically, as many Band-Aids as you have, you might want, as many cracks as you have, you might want to have that number of bandages. I've got one down here, and one more. We'll seal up this last crack he's got over here by his mouth. All right. And there he is. He looks like he needs a little time to recover, but we did what the King's men couldn't do. We put Humpty back together. Thank you very much for joining me for our craft and our story. Do please stop by our website, leonialibrary.org, to find out all of the fun things that we'll be doing this week for National Library Week. Thanks so much, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye!